Hey guys, this is Hawkeye and I am back with another episode of Russian Fishing 4. Then this is not the old Russian Fishing 4, this is the new one with the English translation. You'll notice right off the bat, the Cottage Pond doesn't say a whole bunch of symbols that we used to see. This is absolutely wonderful, guys. Being able to see all this in English is fantastic. And yes, I've brought you back to the Cottage Pond because you might as well take a look at things from the very beginning. Now, I did try to go in and see if I can't start over from the beginning, but apparently I have to do all kinds of finagling, and I think there's a way to reset it, but I'm going to have to ask Kachi how to do that exactly. But for now, we're just going to deal with it as we have at level 11. But as you can see, you can now see all your settings, your keep net, and here's the lake. Now guys, one of the things that you always have to remember when you start off with this tutorial is that you can turn the tutorial on and off. You don't have to go through the whole process, and this is something that Kachi had shown me, and it was in a video he did. But if you go to the settings, which is where I just came from, and if you want to know how to get there, just hit escape, settings, which you can now read, and up here you'll see a past tutorial option. Right now I've got it set to no. If you change it to yes and hit apply, alright, now the tutorial is kicked back into place. Now from this point forward, as long as you've got that set up like this, anytime you come to the old cottage or the Cottage Pond, I think it's just called the Cottage Pond, this is going to pop up. You don't have to have it do that. But I'm going to just show you real quick, just so you can kind of see how this is all in English now, how you approach things. Now, before you even start, make sure that you go up to that cottage up here, because you can get some free bait and you can get an extra rod, because normally you start only with your telestick TL16, but if you go up there, they'll give you this Soviet Union bamboo rod. They'll also give you some extra line, some old rusty hooks, some sinkers, and at least once a day you can get some more dough balls and red worms. But you have to go up here. As you can see, it says E, get spare tackle. It says succeeded. And you can only do it once a day, so I happened to hit it twice, but I just now got a whole bunch more red worms and a whole bunch more dough balls. Actually, I probably have dough balls coming out of my ears at this moment. But anyway, what you do is you come down here. As it says, this spot is perfect for fishing. Now let's choose a rod and set up the float rig with a fixed line. Now I'm just going to put on here what you would have in the beginning. So let's go over to our telestick. And the fishing line they give you is just this old Soviet Union fishing line. As you can tell, I have a bunch of it. I'm probably going to be dropping a lot of it because I don't really need that much of it, but then we're going to pick a bobber, and you automatically get one of these feather floats. These are quill feather floats made from the flight feathers of a goose, and that's old school from European fishing. But I think we're going to use the traditional one on here, feather float, and we're going to use one of these classic hooks. I'm just going to use an old rusty hook that they give you. And then I'm going to pick one of the baits they give you, and the baits they give you are these red worms and some of the dough balls or bread, as it says here. I don't know if you noticed this, but check out all these baits now. If you saw my episodes before, I couldn't tell what the heck these things were. Now I can. This is garlic dough. We've got pearl barley. We got semolina. We got sweet dough, and most of these you can make out of stuff from the market. And you got diced potatoes, bloodworms, maggots, red worms, night crawlers. There's a lot more different types of live bait as well. course, peas. But that is some cool stuff. But we're going to start off with our dough ball here. And then we are going to go ahead and get back on the map. And then we're going to pull out our rod. Whoop, wrong rod. Still the wrong rod. There it is, okay. Then we're going to go ahead and, as it says here, we need to set it to 1 meter depth. And that's where you use the plus and minus keys. That changes the depth of your leader. And then they got a little circle there so that you can see where to aim it. Now I will tell you, as long as it gets within that circle, you're good, but you will get more bites if you get a little bit closer to the grass within that circle, like right there. And then you just pull back and start watching, see if you catch anything. Now Z will zoom you in and out so you have a better look. And as you can see, I'm already got a bite. And he got off the line, so we'll try that again. Oh, they're pretty active. Yeah, see, I think what they do with those quills is they fill the one end with wax, and then they paint one end so that it's red and you can see it better. There we go, we got one this time. Now this is a Gibel Carp. There's a lot of different types of carp in these waters. There's the Gibel Carp, there's the Crucian Carp, there's the common carp. There's of course other fish like Bream. These are all European fish. These are not as familiar to most of us here in America, but this fish you've probably seen. They do wander in our waters sometimes. The common carp is what we mostly see, though. Anyway, he's worth about 18 XP. Not a nice, I mean, kind of a nice looking little fish. I'll go ahead and keep him. Okay, let's try this again. This time I'll try it a little bit further. And we'll just wait and see if they are going to bite. Now it's starting to get dark, which is actually going to be kind of to our advantage, because if it does get dark, I'll show you real quick just how we use our flashlight. Actually, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to get a little bit closer to that grass. Maybe not that close, but it's alright. It's tilted a little bit, but it should still be alright. Carp are bottom feeders. You can also pull it a little bit too if you need to. See? There you go. Yeah, guys, this is old school. You don't start with a reel. You have to earn a reel. Eventually you will get to where you can get feeder rods, and then you can get casting or bait casting rods, and then you can get to the matchstick rods. But I think you have to be probably a level 15 or more to get a matchstick. I'm not sure. I haven't gotten one yet. Even at level 11. And part of fishing, guys, is being patient. See, right now, for some reason, they're not biting much. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and bring out my other rod here. We're going to go ahead and set it up as well. I'm just going to put the old fishing line on it. Whoop, that's not the bobber one. I'm going to put a Bob original bobber. You did get one of those. And I'm going to put one of these Stinger Originals, which they also give you. And this time for the bait, I'm going to use red worms, which is the other bait they'll give you initially. And it looks like it wants me to use this particular rod. I thought you could just switch back and forth. That's alright. It's probably a better spot anyway. There we go, guys. Now we're getting a bite. And that's definitely a carp modus operandi. They tap at it like that, and if it pops up, it'll be one of those crucian carp, the gold carp. If it goes down, it's probably a Gibel Carp. If it yanks down and disappears and you never see it again, it's a common carp. Because he's going to snap your line. Especially this old fishing line. He's definitely playing with it. There we go. It's raised up like that. You've got him. Oh wow, he's decent sized. Nice. Very nice. It's another one of those Gibel Carps, but my gosh, he's a 147 XP out of this little pond. Not bad. Just to let you guys know, you don't have to be doing a tutorial, guys, to go to this pond. You can go back to this pond anytime you want and fish. And there's some decent sized fish in here, as you can see. But this was a different situation too, guys. I don't know if you noticed at the 147, but it also says down here plus 48 XP. Now for trophy size fish, which this is, you have an option of releasing them. And if you release them, they give you an additional bonus XP points. So I basically will get the 147 plus 48 XP, which I'm going to go ahead and do. See, it says for the released fish you receive additionally 48 XP points. So if you're really needing XP and are trying to level up more than you're trying to earn money, you can have that option, or you can just take the cash. It's pretty much up to you. But when you are getting fish for cash, you need to remember that you need to get back to the fish markets kind of as soon as you can, because these fish are fish. They will spoil. This is like real fishing. You can't run around with them in your keep net forever. Anyway, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get out of the tutorial here. So I'm going to put this away, and I'm going to go ahead and put the settings back to what they were. And it's very easy. Back settings, past tutorial, up here, click that back to no, and then hit apply. And then no more tutorial, and you can just fish here from this point forward if you wish, or you could travel to the next pond. It's pretty much up to you. But I think we're going to go ahead and go up to the next pond. Before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and look at something here. I think I'm going to see if I can't get rid of some of these fishing lines. Don't need that much of them. They're just taking up space. Alright, that's better. I wanted to do that before I forgot. Anyway, let's go ahead and go on to the next lake. And the next lake you go to after the tutorial is to Mosquito Lake. And this is the first lake you have a boat. After that you'll go to the winding rivulet. Now I have not been to Oberg Lake yet. I think I have to be a level 12. Yes, and I'm almost there. And then from there, let's see. Swampy woods near Crostroma. Local waters are rich with large fish. So this is probably where you're going to catch a lot of your catfish. And there's black carp here too. But I am really looking forward to getting to these other lakes. Anyway, let's go ahead to Mosquito Lake here. And I will go ahead and skip this part where it's the travel time. Alright guys, we are here in Mosquito Lake and it's starting to get dark. But I'm going to show you some of the things that, as you can now see, it says Fish Market instead of whatever symbols it used to say. Here's the boat station where you get your tickets. Up here's the market. This is where you can get your food. And I think, trying to remember here guys, if you forget what your controls are, you can always go back up here to settings, check control, and this will tell you what all your control buttons do. Like you can go through the inventory, do everything the hard way, or you can go in here and press special buttons to do certain things. Like quick bait selections B, quick item selections U, quick food selections T. I couldn't remember what it was. So T is your food. This is the food I have on me at the moment. So if you really get hungry, you can come in here, get you some bread, get you one of these sugar duck candy bars, drink you a Coke. It's actually called Monkey Cola, but I went ahead and drank that. That'll give me a little bit of boost. If you notice down there that little thing with the knife and fork, that's your food level. Up the top, energy level. The little horseshoe's luck. Now you can catch lucky fish, and if you catch that, that'll fill up, and the more it fills up, the more fish you'll catch, and the more likely you'll get a trophy. And then the bottom is your comfort level. Now right now my comfort level's okay. So-so. And over here, when you're at this lake, I usually don't eat too much of my food because I just come over here and eat at the field kitchen. You can do that once a day. As you can see, it completely filled up my hunger bar. Now this is the tackle store. This is where you get your bobbers, your hooks, your rods. And for the first time, you can now see all that in English, which is awesome. It's going to take a minute to come up here. We're going to take a look at some of these. Here's the different types of rods: the telescopic, bolognese, spinning. Those you can get fairly early in the game. When you get to casting rods and feeder rods, it starts getting pickier about your levels, and especially once you get to the picker and match rods. And these things are expensive. Some of these match rods. But anyway, same's true for the reels and the lines. You notice there isn't that cheap Russian line in here. You pretty much have the good lines from this point forward. That's only at the entry level that you get those. These are some of the lures that you have options for, and bobbers, hooks. Remember, one thing that's very important as far as your hooks go, you buy one hook at a time. You do not buy packages of hooks. The more money you spend on the hook, the better the hook is, and the less likely it'll bend. Oh, it's over here. That was a phone. If you want to purchase more cash for the game, or convert gold coins over to silver coins, you do that here. And here is the leaderboard. And this is kind of interesting to see right now because there's a lot of fish here that no one's caught yet. But they're slowly starting to fill up. Some of these probably won't fill up for a while. But no one's caught a zander yet? That's kind of amazing. But you can get crayfish, you can get different types of catfish, burbot, black carp, asp. Many of these no one has caught yet, though. That's just kind of interesting. Now here's where you get your map to the lake, and that's something you need to purchase when you first come to Mosquito Lake. Now the Cottage Lake you get one for free, but here you got to pay for them. And if I'm not mistaken, I think they're 3 silver. Yes, they are. So even though you start with 50, you really need to get that map because it's very helpful, because it gives you depths of where different places within the lake itself and where things are located. Anyway, the market's over here if you need stuff. Oh, let me come in here real quick. Yeah, this is where you get all your food. Now, some of the stuff is not food, though. Some of the stuff is for making different types of baits. I don't think you'd use the pasteurized milk for anything except probably baits, but I'm not sure about that. But some of them are obvious. Salt, melted cheese. Not sure what that is. Canned celery, sugar, wheat flour. These are all for making different types of bait balls or different types of baits in general. But some of it is for your use to eat, like this sausage or these different types of drinks. There's a sugar duck, which is a candy bar, or the bread loaf. Anyway, that's your food, and you don't really need it here so much. Most of the time you can just fill yourself up over there at that little grill. Anyway, guys, that's some of the new things in English here, which is pretty darn cool. And I already have some fish in my inventory. I'm going to go ahead and sell these guys off. I think I'd have one at least. I released the other one. You want to do that so they don't spoil, guys. Don't forget and leave them in your keep net. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to come through here, find that path, which I always seem to have trouble finding it in the dark. Now hit F, and that'll give you your flashlight instead of running around in the dark. And we'll come over here and try our luck at some fishing here. One of my favorite spots. On a calm, clear night like this, this should be some good fishing, guys. Alright, let me go ahead and get my setup here. Alright, I got my Sorrento rod in my #1 spot already, which is good. And I think what I'll do is I'll set it over here. And I happen to have corn on it. So usually if you're going for carp, don't go too far offshore. They usually tend to be close to the grass, so this is probably a good place to be, just where the drop-off starts. We'll go ahead and hit the Y. That'll reel it in so that it's set. And we'll just listen for it. Now we'll get out our bamboo rod, which I put a red worm on earlier. I think I'm going to just cast it out just a little ways. Actually, let me go ahead and pick that up. Let's take it over here, guys. Let's take it over here close to these weeds. I'm going to cast this out right there. Scoot back just a little bit and put it on the ground so I can get out the other rod. Now this one I have dough ball. We'll cast that one out right there. And I've got a bite on my second rod already. And this is a Chinese sleeper. See, I thought that was a Rotan, a Chinese sleeper. These are little bitty fish. As you can see, they're only 96 grams, 14 XP, but if you get a decent sized one, they are worth a lot of cash. They look a lot like goby. And one way you can tell if you got one of those guys, they tend to pull it down real slow. Chinese sleeper. And I'm already getting a bite on this one. And he's on it. I think this is a roach, guys. Nope, it's a white bream. Nice white bream, guys. Isn't he pretty? 48 points. Let's toss this guy back out there because I think I'm getting another bite here on the other one. Yep. They are definitely biting tonight. Another Chinese sleeper. He's a little bit smaller. I like those red worms. I thought I was getting another bite. Just gonna keep an eye on that sucker. I was hoping I'd get a... We got him. And there's a common roach. We've got one on our second rod again. Well, looks like we missed him. That's alright. Yeah, you get good at doing this back and forth thing. I'm kind of surprised we haven't gotten a bite over here on our feeder rod. Nope. Nothing was interested. Tell you what, guys, let me reel this in. We'll cast over here a little closer to where we are on this side. What we'll do is we'll cast it over there, right next to the weeds. See if they're in here a little closer. But see, it's already starting to become morning. And in Russia, in the summertime, morning comes very early. It starts getting light about 4 a.m. Doesn't get dark till about 10:30, something like that. I thought I was getting a bite over here. Yep, there he is. Go ahead and grab, whoop. get this picked up. Ah, I missed him. Well, that happens. We'll just put that down and we'll see if he comes back. Yep, I thought I was getting a bite over here too. But whatever it is, he's not very big. Alright, I've got a bite on that first line. That's probably one of those Chinese sleepers. Now, he's a little bit bigger than the last one. Let me go ahead and toss that one back out. But anyway, guys, you can kind of get the idea with this first view. I was hoping to sit there and get one off that feeder rod, but they don't seem to be going after it at the moment. But they will. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed that first episode in English. Makes a big difference, I'm sure. But anyway, guys, please be sure to share, comment, like, and subscribe, and I will be back with another episode of Russian Fishing 4. Looks like I'm getting another bite here. So until that time, always remember, aim straight, cast far, and have fun. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.